Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Megan, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. You can give me a call tonight, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. You can also reach me on Twitter at Richie Walsh. We're already talking about the Pens' big win against Montreal. They jumped from out of the playoffs into the first wild card right now. They could have jumped up to the third spot in the Metro if it wasn't for Carolina winning in overtime. So Carolina ruined them getting into the third spot. But Columbus losing, they jumped Montreal, and they jumped Columbus to move into the first wild card spot. It's going to get really interesting here. 17 games left. They play Columbus 2 more times. They play Carolina 2 more times. A lot of tough games, even against Philly. But the one thing that I was just thinking, just sitting in my office, and, I've thought this before, and I'm sure all you guys think this out there. It's nothing new. I would much rather the Pens play tough teams, really good teams, than the teams that aren't in the playoff picture, like teams like Buffalo. They have a tendency to kind of not be at their best against the worst teams. Kind of like the Steelers. That's what I was making reference to yesterday, that you could draw a lot of parallels with the Penguins and the Steelers on the field, on the ice. Not in the locker room, not at all. There's no drama in the Penguins locker room like there is in the Steelers locker room, even though Kevin Colbert kind of dismissed the whole drama thing. But, on the ice, getting up for games. I'm not saying that the Penguins don't get up for games or don't get up for teams, but I think they could just kind of go through the motions against bad teams or teams that aren't in the playoffs. I don't want to say Buffalo is a bad team because they're still in the playoff race. But, they're losing to teams like Buffalo. They're losing to teams like New Jersey. There's a lot of games out there that you could really point to. They've been bad in overtime. They have 9 overtime losses. And that's just been a problem with the Penguins this year, just inconsistency. And one guy that's been really inconsistent, but not tonight, was Matt Murray. Mike Sullivan said after tonight's game, after the big win, the 5-1 win in Montreal, Mike Sullivan said he could tell right from the start, from the first shot, that Matt Murray was playing big in net tonight. So you need Matt Murray to play big in net every night. Next game is Tuesday at home, and then the Penguins have a couple games at home before they hit the road again. So Tuesday's another game. It definitely should be one of these winnable games. Their next 2 games are against Florida and Columbus. And don't be surprised if they lose to Florida and beat Columbus, because that's what I would predict would happen just because of the way the whole Penguins season has been going. They look like a team that's unbeatable tonight. I mean, Sidney Crosby put this team on his back the first 10 minutes of this game, maybe the whole game he did. But, this is what good players do, and this is kind of when Sidney Crosby, he's probably had it with, the way this team's playing. He's got to do a lot by himself, but he had a 4-point night. He scored the first 21 seconds. He set up Gensel twice, set up Malkin on the power play. Phil Kessel also up there on the first power play unit, too, as well. So a good win for the Penguins. It was a huge win because you're beating a playoff team, a playoff caliber team. Montreal's in the playoff picture right now. Columbus is on the outside looking in. So really, it's going to come down to either the Penguins, Columbus, Montreal, Carolina. Those teams are all fighting for 3 spots. And 3 of those teams are in the same division, but you have Montreal still in the mix for that wild card spot. So, if Montreal doesn't get the wild card spot, they're probably not gonna get in it in their division. But so then you have Carolina, the Penguins, and Columbus, and everyone's within 2 points. Carolina's 2 points ahead of the Penguins. So it's just going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, going to be a race. It's going to be fun to watch. But, what I was thinking about is the Penguins need to just rattle off 3 or 4 games, kind of get in control, get back into the division conversation, and, try to solidify that spot where you're not thinking, or we're not thinking, that maybe it's a question whether they get in or not. I mean, I think they get in. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I think they get in. I also thought the Steelers would get in the playoffs too, and you saw what happened. But you can't lose to bad teams, and that's the Penguins' problem this year, losing to bad teams. But it seemed like the one thing that I really liked about tonight, not only Sidney Crosby, but Matt Murray, laser-focused, It seemed like he just was able to put last night behind him, giving up a couple maybe questionable goals. I understand that they were deflected. There was some traffic in front, but that happened in Philadelphia. He bounced back from that. So Matt Murray's been kind of inconsistent like this team. He's got to be that big game goaltender that he was in the playoffs when they won the 2 Stanley Cups. That's the goalie they need down the stretch. So we'll see if he plays on Tuesday. I'm sure we won't find out that until, maybe Monday or even Tuesday morning who's going to play in that game. But I'm going to continue to ride Matt Murray. I want to play him as much as possible unless it's a back-to-back situation, which they have one of those coming up in a little bit. Also, we'll be talking about the Penguins, so give us a call, 412-575-2600. And about Mr. Big Chest. His big interviews ran today, one with LeBron James, one with Jeff Darlington from ESPN. We'll have some of that coming up on KDKA-TV News tonight at 11 o'clock. But basically, it's the same narrative in both. He's calling out everyone else but himself. He said, he's not to blame. That's what he said. He's not to blame. He's not the problem. He's pointing the finger at Ben Roethlisberger. He's pointing the finger at Art Rooney. He's pointing the finger at Mike Tomlin. He's saying they're all to blame. So that's basically the whole gist of the interview. So you don't have to waste 45 minutes watching each one of them. Or you could kind of tune into KDKA TV News tonight, and we'll show you some small clips of what he said. And I think Steelers fans are just getting really frustrated right now. 11 days until they can officially make a trade. Well, we got to take a break. Back with your phone calls. Maybe some of your tweets coming up next. 412-575-2600.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.